Howdy y'all. I have to have my phone attached to my computer because I broke my charger this weekend. Today is Saturday, the February 2nd. It has been exactly a month since I've been here, which is awesome. It's about 8:40 right now. I just got home from Madrid and I'm very tired. I have a lot of things to do before tomorrow because I start class. So, okay, but I wrote down some things because I didn't want to forget. Friday. I didn't talk about Friday. Friday we woke up really early. We ate breakfast at the hostel because they gave us free breakfast. We walked around. We walked to the Prado Museum, which is like a museum of art. It was really cool. It had a bunch of like famous painters in it. I really liked it a lot. On the way there, we saw the switching of the guards. We just like walked into it. It was switching of the guards. It was super crazy. They had all these professional like uniforms on and they were like doing the 21 gun salute and this cool music. We stayed and watched that for a while. We took a bunch of pictures. We just messed around, walked around. It was cool. The Prado Museum we got in for free because we had our international students cards, which is awesome. Apparently a lot of museums we get in free with that. So I'm hoping if I take that back to the States, I can also get in free places because that would be awesome. At the Prado Museum, I was at times a little bit emotional because there were some really awful paintings. One of the paintings I saw was The Last Supper with Jesus, and it like, I didn't even know that that was going to be there. Never in my life would I have thought that I would actually have seen that in real life, and I've seen so many paintings and sculptures that I've seen in like books and like people talk about, but I saw them and it was like almost emotional just because it freaked me out so much. Like the way it just like looks, it looks so much different in real life. Like I was just walking, looking at the painting, and then I stopped and all my friends stopped. We didn't even say anything because it's so like, not bone chilling, it's just so weird. You wouldn't think that you would see paintings like that, and there was a lot of paintings like Renaissance and ages and stuff that are just so dark and grim and like rape and murder and things like that, and it was sad. I didn't like it, but I obviously liked it because it was interesting to see and informational, and I read almost all of the details with the things because it was interesting to me. And we didn't even get through the entire place. I think we only went to one floor because we got there maybe like 11 and it was like 2 o'clock by the time we were done with the first floor. We still didn't see everything on the first floor. It was just it's huge. The place was huge and you couldn't take any pictures. I didn't get any pictures, some of my friends did because there was like a worker in every single room making sure that no one was taking pictures. One of the other painting or sculptures I saw, I don't remember who did it. It was really sad to me. It wasn't sad, it was weird and sad. It was a sculpture of a woman with like, obviously all these sculptures are naked because that's just like the thing, and it's always the left boob for some reason. I tried reading it and googling it to find out why always the left boob, but never got an answer. So her left boob is out and there's like a man sucking on it, and he's got like covered in shackles, and he's really skinny and she's really fat. So I was like, okay, I wonder what this means. And it was a sculpture of some story where the daughter was nursing her father back to health because he got out of prison, and that was the only thing that they had money to eat. And it was gross but sad. That one really struck me too. And there's another one that I forgot the name of, but it was sad as well. And there were some really pretty ones. It's amazing that they could be so great so far back then. Like, it's crazy. And some of the paintings took up the entire walls. Like, they'd be rooms that we'd walk into a room and there'd only be 2 paintings because the painting would be so big it would take up the entire wall that you'd have to stand all the way against the other wall to actually see the entire thing. And and the proportions, everything was so proportional and awesome, and I don't know how you could do that without having any kind of technological help. I can't speak English or Spanish. We were talking about that on the trip, that our brains are just one big mush puddle of no English and no Spanish. We all keep messing up both and we just laugh because we can't speak English, can't speak Spanish, whatever. Also, in Madrid, they don't speak a lot of Spanish. That's something that really pissed me off a lot. I would talk to someone in Spanish and they would answer me in English. I'd be like, where's the bathroom in Spanish? And they'd be like, oh, the bathroom, you just go down the hall and take a right. I'm like, I'm talking to you in Spanish. You should try to talk to me in Spanish. I know I look American and I know this is a very touristy place, but you should at least try to talk to me in Spanish if I'm making the effort. Because I feel like my progress in Spanish definitely declined this entire trip because we just spent 5 days just speaking English the entire time. Speaking English to the workers, speaking English when we had questions, and we tried speaking Spanish and they would speak English to us. So, whatever. what else did we do? After the Prado Museum, we went to the park, and it was really pretty. It's one, I forgot the name of it. It's really pretty though. It's got a lot of flowers, and we were walking really far into it. We took a lot of pictures. As we walked into it, there was like a giant lake, and there was all these couples in boats like rowing around, and that was really cute. I like that a lot. And there was people like playing music and stuff like that, just trying to get money, like homeless people. It was sad, but it was cool. Then I wrote it down. So we all took naps after that. I wrote little bullet points here so I didn't forget. I didn't want to take a nap because I find that when I nap, I don't sleep as well. So, and we haven't really doing that much like exercise or anything. There's someone knocking on the ceiling. We haven't really been doing like that much exercise that I'm needing to nap because I eat so much but I don't exercise, so I have all this energy, so I just stayed up. After that, we didn't really do much. We made a pizza because we were going to Capital, the club, that night, and the club was like $22 to get in, and you only got one free drink, and I was pissed because everyone downloaded this app where they got in for $16 and got 2 free drinks, and I was like, well, that's stupid. I was really annoyed. But we went to the convenience store down the street, owned by these Chinese people, and got like 4 or 5 pizzas, and we all just split them. I think one pizza was like $3.50 each, so we paid like $1.80 or $1.75 or something, and just split all these pizzas. And Jen is lactose intolerant, but didn't tell us, so she's eating these pizzas, and then after we're done eating the pizzas, we're all getting ready, and we're all just drinking, and then we just drank like bottles of wine. I had a bottle of vodka I brought with me. And we were just drinking everything. Like, we just had bottles and we were all just sharing and just having a great time listening to music in the room, like dancing. And then it got time for us to go. So we're leaving and we're all pretty drunk. I was not drunk. I was obviously drunk, but I wasn't like wasted. So Jen wasn't doing that great. Jen was not doing hot. She looked rough. She looked like she was gonna blow chunks at any second. So we took a taxi to the club because walking was just not, it was so far. It was all the way by the Prado Museum, which was like 40 minutes away. So we get into this cab, we walk to the main street, we get into a cab, we all go. It's cool, we get there, we pay, we're walking up, standing in line for the coat check, probably waiting about 10 minutes now. This club is awesome. It has 7 floors. It's supposed to be one of the best clubs of like all times. The ambiance was awesome. I was ready to dance. And Jen's standing in line in front of me, and everyone else is in front of her. I was in the back line, just standing there waiting. I take my coat off, and all of a sudden Jen leans against the wall, and I'm like, Jen, baby, come on, like, get it together. Let's go, Jen. Hurls all over the floor. And I was like, oh my God. And there was a security guy right next to us, and I was like, Jen, you gotta keep it together. So I tried standing to the side of her so he couldn't see her throwing up all over the floor, and he like moved me, and he was like, no, started yelling at her in Spanish, gets on some kind of walkie-talkie, and he's like yelling at her, and I was like too drunk to comprehend what he was saying, but I was like, guys, and I was trying to get my friends that were further up in the line, that were at the coat check ready. I was like, guys, Jen needs help, like she just threw up, and then she threw up 2 more times, like she's throwing up. Guys, we need to do something, like something needs to be done. And he takes Jen, he's walking away as I'm talking to my friends, and then I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna go with Jen, like I don't want anything to happen to Jen. Sarah, she pulls something out of her purse, hands it to me, and she's like, this, you can just pay me back later, like, take this and get Jen home, because I only brought $30, I just brought enough to get into the club, and then for the taxi, it's all I brought with me. And I was like, okay, awesome, like, good, now I'm gonna go with Jen, I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna come back. So I take whatever she gives me, I didn't even look at it, I just crumple it in my hand, and I stick it in my coat pocket, because I put my coat back on. The guy takes us all the way back downstairs, and I'm like looking at him, and he's like, it's fine, just go, and I'm like, okay. So I go find us a taxi, and in the process of us walking down the street, like looking for a taxi, she's like wobbling all over, and I'm like, Jen, come on, keep it together, like we can do this. I finally get a taxi, and I pull the money out of my pocket that Sarah gave me. Sarah gave me 3 drink tickets. Not money, 3 drink tickets. And I was like, awesome, what the hell am I gonna do with this? Like, this isn't gonna help me at all. She thought she gave me 20, but she gave me 3 crumpled up drink tickets. So I put that back in my pocket, and I gave Jen the other 10 I had, and I was like, Jen, I handed it to her. I gave her my keys, because we there's 4 sets of keys. We each had to share a set of keys, and on that key was my lock to my locker at the hostel. And I told Jen, I was like, Jen, you know, are you gonna be okay? And then at this point, usually when you throw up a lot, you're a little bit more coherent. She's like, Kelly, I'm fine, like I can do this. And I wrote down the address of the cab driver, and I handed him the $10, and I said, you take this $10, is this gonna be enough to get there? And he said, yeah, it'll be just fine, it'll be plenty. I was like, you keep the change, you just get her there. And I told her not to take, I like looked at her and I was like, do not take out your wallet, leave your wallet under your coat check, because it was under her coat check. And I was like, I just gave him $10, like don't do anything. And he was like, is she gonna throw up? Is she gonna throw up? And I was like, no, she's fine, she's fine. And I was like, Jen, I only have enough money for one of us to go and for one of us to get back. Like, are you gonna be okay? You gotta tell me. And she was like, yeah, Kelly, I'm gonna be fine. I was like, okay. So he drives away, and I stood outside for maybe like 8 minutes contemplating what to do, just like watching her go down the street. I watched the car all the way till it turned, and I was like, I hope that she gets home okay, because I didn't have any money. And then I walked down the other side of the street to go back into the club, and luckily the guy let me in. I was gonna be really sad if he didn't, but he did. So I went and I checked my coat, and then I was supposed to meet my friends. My friends told me they'd be on the first floor, and I was walking around. At this point, I was like almost crying because I was getting really flustered. Like, I'm in this club with 7 floors. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's no way they're ever gonna find me. I was getting really scared. But then I saw Alexa standing at the bar, and I was like, oh my god, like, you don't even know how happy, like, seeing you made me. I, like, hugged her and I cried. She's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, like, I'm a little wild up, I'm a little upset, but it'll be okay. So we each got a drink. They danced on the first floor for a while because I was gone, so I was like, okay, let's go. So we go up to the second floor, and we're just like dancing, and everything was like good from then. And Taylor found this guy, apparently, that she was dancing with, because she starts dancing with this guy, and we're all turning around. Next thing you know, they're like sucking face, so we're like, okay, we'll just let that happen. But we all agreed that no one goes home with any random people tonight because there's not enough room. Hold on, I think my house got this home. I had to shut my door, I didn't want to bother them. So we all agreed that no one went home with anyone because we are not in a place that we know, and there's 7 floors and it's just dangerous, so just no. And everyone was like, yes, all in agreement of it. So Taylor disappears, and we're like, whatever, we'll find her before we leave. She can't be that far, like, she's on this floor. We told her not to go anywhere, and every now and then we'd see her with him, so we're like, okay, fine. So Chris and Joey showed up with Alexis out of nowhere. We're like, oh, hey guys, what's up? Like, they go to school with us, which was awesome. So we danced with them for a while, and we were just going from floor to floor to floor. Like, this place had 7 floors, and honestly, it was the craziest thing I've ever been to in my entire life. Words can't even explain how awesome it was. Like, here's the center, and around the center, it's like basically a giant circle kind of set up inside, and there's like, the higher you go up, like the second floor was a balcony, but the third floor was like glass, and you could see down, and you could hear the music, and there was like, they weren't naked women, but they were like, they had like beads on, I don't know, your typical club dancers, standing on like different spots, like different high tables on poles and stuff, just like dancing, and there was music, it was super loud, and all of a sudden like no lights would be on, then it'd be like strobe lights, and it was just fun, and we were just dancing, having drinks. I only had 2 drinks because I thought that I only had 2 drinks because I forgot about the drinks Sarah gave me, and then Jen gave me her drink, so I had so many drinks that I could have drank and given to my friends. I just forgot about them. So I was like sobering up, but we were still dancing, and we're like, let's all go down to the first floor, because the first floor looks like where it was happening. So we go down to the first floor, and it was awesome. I felt like I was in a movie, or a movie, Project X, for anyone that's ever seen it. Just like intense, crazy dancing, like techno. My favorite absolute part, I'll never forget this, you can be dancing and all of a sudden you get hot and you just hear whoosh, and smoke and fog and cool air and like mist would shoot down from the ceiling and blow all your hair back, and like if you had contacts in, I would have to close my eyes because it was such a strong like rush of air. Like your hair flew back, your contacts, it was crazy, and then everyone screamed, and then be like confetti shooting, and it was just awesome. Like, imagine something that is amazing and that you'd want to happen to you for the rest of your life, and that's what Capital was. Simply amazing. So knowing we had to get up early the next day, around 6 o'clock we decided to start leaving. At this point in time, we didn't know where Taylor was. We saw her like 20 minutes beforehand on the first floor with us at the bar with this guy. So we're waiting. Sorry, I'm so itchy, I need a shower. So Alexa, Sarah, and Ashley, they go outside and they wait. And we're like, you guys can go, you guys can wait, it's not a big deal, we need to find Taylor. So we go back to the first floor, we're like, oh my god, we can't find her. We looked for like 15 minutes, we're like, let's just get our coats, maybe she'll come back. We told her not to leave the first floor. We get our coats, and we're looking, and then we all had to split up, and we're like, we didn't leave the first floor, we're like, you go here, like, don't worry, it'll all be okay. We all looked for her probably like a half hour on top of that 15 minutes, or no, maybe it was like 45 minutes total, we probably all looked for her. We go back to the front, like where the outside is, there's like a little it's inside, but it's outside the actual club, and then you go outside to leave. And we're standing there like, what are we gonna do? Like, we have no idea where she's at. Sarah looks up and's like, guys, there she is, standing on the balcony in the coat line. And we're like, Taylor, like, what are you doing? We're going. And she was wasted. She was absolutely so drunk. So we get her coat, and then we start leaving. And we're walking, and then we're like, we need to walk at this point in time. I was like, I don't have money, and they didn't have enough money to cover me because I had no money because I gave Jen the rest of my money. So we have a 45-minute walk ahead of us, plus Taylor's wasted, so it was so much longer. We're walking, just kind of stumbling around, and then she just stops. Taylor just stops suddenly, and she's like, guys, I can't find my phone. We're like, what do you mean? Are you sure you had it even? And we're trying to calm her down because she's freaking out. She lost her iPhone, I guess. So she couldn't find it in her pocket, she couldn't find it in her purse. She knew that she took it because she took pictures with Alexa, and then she just has a breakdown in the middle of the street, screaming at the top of her lungs. And we're like, Taylor, darling, you need to get it together. Like, we have to walk. You doing this is gonna do nothing. And then she basically went through probably like a half hour of just screaming and crying as she's like slowly walking home. All I had was a dingy little map, and everyone's like, Kelly, where are we going? Like, we have no idea where we are. And I was like, excellent. Yet again, I have to figure out where the hell we are on this tiny little map. I mean, I'm okay with it because I feel like I'm probably the most, not responsible, but confident in like my map decisions, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm more mature, maybe is the word I want to use when it comes to things like that, like having to figure it out and get everyone home. So I'm looking at this map. I actually found the way home because pretty soon we got to the Prado Museum, and I remember our way home from there. Stupid far. So we're walking and we're walking. By the time we actually get back, on our way home, we stopped at McDonald's, and Taylor looked awful. She looked god-awful. She cried all of her makeup off. It was all over her face. She was sweaty and dingy from the club, had drinks. Like, when you go to the club, you just expect things to be poured on you. Like, if you leave without 2 drinks spilling on you, you're in good shape. So she was gross, she stunk, no makeup was on, and these guys in the McDonald's line were like making fun of us, and me and Lanice just weren't having it, and Lanice started going sassy Spanish on them. Sarah was like, I just want to go home, I'm starving, and I was like, I don't even have any money. I don't even know how I actually paid for the McDonald's. That is a wonderful question. Maybe Lanice paid for me, because I had no money. Lanice must have bought it for me. I got a McPollo and some fries. That's really weird. So, anyways, Lanice had keys. We finally get into the hostel. We're not that much further. It's probably like 7:15 at this point in the morning. We had to eat our McDonald's, but the worker at the hostel closed and locked the kitchen door, and we tried to like walk into it, and he like gets up from the desk and is like, what are you guys doing? You can't go in there. We're like, we just want to eat our food. Like, we're not going to make like anything, we just want to eat this. He was like, you can't go in there. So we ended up sitting on the floor on beanbag chairs eating our nasty McDonald's, and we're like, that guy's rude. We didn't like him. He looked like a vampire. He was the one that talked to me in my other video blog, the one that was stalking me when I was sitting on the beanbag floor chair things. He was the one that told us we couldn't go in, and I was like, you're rude because I paid to be here, but whatever. So now I have to look at what else. Oh, also, I'm happy with this down. I would have forgot. At some point in the night, Sarah was dancing with us on the first floor, and we all turn around and we couldn't see her, and then we hear her screaming, and we look up. She's just crowd surfing. Some guy picked her up and just crowd surfed her, and she went crowd surfing in the club, which was awesome and good for her because we were like, hopefully she gets back here because she's crowd surfing right now. That was cool. Okay, yes, I think that is all for Friday. Oh, Friday, we saw a bunch of hookers during the day, and I was like, guys, those people are hookers, and no one believed me. And they were like, Kelly, how do you know that they're just not waiting around for something? And I was like, they are clearly hookers. You're all fools if you don't think they're hookers. That was Thursday. Friday, we see them again in the same spot, like same outfits, brushing her hair. I'm like, she's a hooker. And then Thursday, some guy followed her home. Like, he looked at her, went up to and talked to her, and she just kind of nodded her head and then walked away. And he waited about 2 minutes and followed her, like with a great distance behind. I was like, she's a hooker. We saw them again for the rest of the trip, same spot. Hookers. Alright, so I got home at like 7:15, 7:30. I think I went to bed around 7:40-ish after like washing my face. the plan was to go to the zoo the next morning, wake up at like 10:15, but the only person that wanted to go to the zoo was me, Ashley, Sarah, and maybe Allie, but they didn't want to go to the zoo like anymore. Like when they were like, I don't want to go to the zoo with the club, I'm like, okay, it's fine, like as long as one person goes to the zoo with me, I'm fine, because that was like the one thing I wanted. I wasn't upset that no one wanted to go, but I planned the trip, and I never care what we do ever. Like that was the one thing that I wanted to do, so I wanted to make sure at least one person went with me, because it was 22 euros, which is expensive, but I would rather pay 22 euros to go to a zoo than to a club. Like you could just I would have been perfectly content with getting a $3 bottle of wine and just going to get tapas, but whatever. I got to go to the zoo and that's all I wanted. So Ashley wakes up, because Ashley was already home at like maybe 9:30, and I was like, Ashley, I seriously went to sleep maybe an hour and a half ago, like can I just sleep a little longer? I'm sorry. She's like, no, it's fine, don't worry, I'm gonna go shower and get ready. I was like, I'm not even gonna get ready, like I don't even care what I look like, just go shower, do your thing, come back for me. She's like, okay. So she comes back, I get up, she's like, just stay, it's fine, like we're not in a time rush, like relax. I can handle that. I probably got up at like 10:30 and I was exhausted, I looked awful. Jen was up already. She felt a lot better, and at this point in time is when she told us she was lactose intolerant. And we were like, what do you mean? Like, you ate those pizzas? She's like, yeah, I know, but I'm lactose intolerant, so I really shouldn't have. We were like, Jen, you should have said something, because that's probably the reason you threw up. Like, she was wasted, but she's like, Allie and Lanice are in her sorority, and they say that they've never seen her throw up like that, like, at all. And she was like, yeah, like, I probably shouldn't eat the pizza, that's what made me so sick. And we're like, you are dumb, Jenny Bear. It would have been fine if you didn't want to eat the pizza, because that's why you got sick. She gave me the $10 back, but the problem in the morning was she had not a clue where the keys were. And she gave the cab driver $25 for the thing and lost the keys. So she was out $35 because she gave the 10 back to me, but I didn't have the keys, so I couldn't get into my locker, and the hostel people didn't have an extra key. Like, who doesn't make an extra key to a lock that you rent out to people? I was like, awesome, so now I get to be in the same clothes all day long. I wasn't mad at Jen, I just really wanted to change my clothes. Like, I felt disgusting. You never even feel clean to begin with in the hostel, and then I was in the same clothes that I put on at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, like 6 o'clock the day before to get ready in, went to a dirty club, slept in it because I couldn't get in my locker because my pajamas were in there, and then wake up and I'm in them still. I was like, I feel disgusting. Like, I do not even want to be in these clothes. I want new underwear. I want new socks. I mean, luckily they were just leggings for me, so it's no problem wearing them 2 days. I just felt gross. We helped Jen pick the lock for maybe like an hour or two, and then I was like, you know what guys, like me and Ashley are just gonna go, because Ashley only wanted to go. So my friend Alexa gave me a shirt, Ashley let me wear a cardigan. I just took my underwear off because it was gross. It's gross. Everything's gross, and that's what it is. Lanice gave me some socks. I didn't shower, brush my teeth, because I left that stuff out of my locker. Thankfully. Thank the Lord I did. So I just wore the same leggings, the same tribal leggings, and I smelled gross, and I felt disgusting. Didn't even put makeup on, put my contacts in, and put sunglasses on, and was like, let's go, Ashley. It's not getting any better than what it is right now. So Saturday, we leave, and we figure out the way to the zoo. We have to take the Tribunal bus stop to campus, to this Casa de Campus stop, and then from there we walk like a mile, no, it wasn't a mile, 900 meters or 900, I don't know the thing they do here, they do measurements different. So like, okay, fine. So we get to the first train station we need to be at, and we probably spent a half hour buying tickets, and I was like crying, I was laughing so hard because we were like, oh, this guy didn't tell us like how we should do it. He didn't tell us. He was like, oh, this is what you gotta do, it's gonna be really easy, you'll see it makes sense. We're like, good, this sounds really great. We go to the bus stop, and there's like it's like a CTA, it's the underline one. I'm not from Chicago, I don't know what it's called, Subway maybe, I don't know. And we're like looking at it like, how in the hell are we supposed to figure this out? We have no idea. We thought we were just gonna get on, and then it was gonna take us to the stop we needed to go, but apparently we needed to go on 2 trains to get there. So we're like, okay, so we're messing around, and Ashley pays for it. We figured out Ashley pays for hers, and her ticket doesn't come out. So we're like, what the heck, man? And we're punching it, and we're hitting all the buttons, like, come on, make the thing come out. And I hit a button that had a speaker, and I was like, oh, maybe she'll tell us something. And then a phone rings, and this woman's like, dígame. We're like, oh, what? And then I was like, no. Like, a woman comes on the thing, and Ashley said to her in Spanish, like, I bought my ticket, but the receipt didn't come out. And she's like, okay, wait a second. So we wait like 10 minutes, and we're standing there, and all these people are passing us, like, super easy, know what they're doing. We're like, oh, this is embarrassing, so embarrassing. And then I look down, and the ticket was there. It comes out at the bottom like a vending machine. It doesn't, like, spit it out like it does in America, like at the top or something, or at the bottom. It was, like, hidden. You had to, like, push in and pull it out. And we're like, oh, God, we feel so stupid. As soon as we figured it out, she came, was like, sorry, we figured it out. We went down to the train station. We waited for the next train. We got on this train, the first train, realized, got scared, wasn't sure if it was the right one, hopped off really fast, it left. The next one came, said the same thing at the top, and we're like, okay, this must be the one we need to take. We get on that one, we take it until, I don't even know where we took it or how we figured out we needed to get off. We got off, Gran Via. We had to get off at Gran Via and then get on the next one. So we got off at Gran Via, didn't even leave underground. We like went through this giant maze of weirdness, got on this next train. It was like 8 stops. So we're on this train for a while, and I was like getting super nauseous because I didn't really eat that much. I think I had a Clementine, and I was still hungover. Could have been still drunk. I wasn't still drunk, but I just didn't feel good. I just needed to eat and not be moving. I don't even like the subways in Chicago. I remember being with Daly. I remember being so sick. I was like, I hate this. And we finally get off. The train took us to Bufu. No, like the zoo is on the outskirts of the city. So me and Ashley were like, we really need to make sure we take this back, because if we don't take this back, we're gonna be screwed, because we have no idea. Madrid is set up very much like New York, from what I've been told. Like, it is New York. It has McDonald's. It's basically a mini America. It has like all American food. People speak English. It's America. And it's super like cram-packed, city-like, and we were basically in the country. Like, the zoo is in the mountains. And we're like, cool, wow, if we get lost here, we're doomed. We walk off from the top, and there's just a sign that says zoo. So we're like, oh, let's follow the sign. The sign that says zoo just points down a road. And we're like, okay, like nice gravel road. So we're like, well, I guess we can just walk down this. We walked down that for a while, and then we saw another sign that said zoo. And we finally made it to the zoo. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. Totally different than any zoo in America ever. The animal enclosures weren't far away at all. The only thing that separated like bears from us was like a staircase. I took a picture of it. I'll try and upload it. They were so close. So close. It's like, I could hop over this. I could honestly walk over, like put my leg over this fence, go to the next side and get over it. And it was just crazy to me. The animals were way happier there. The enclosures were big. I liked it a lot. We fed flamingos. I loved that a lot. It was only €1 to buy the food, and I hand fed them. And I tried to pet one, and it didn't want me to pet it. I almost got bit, but whatever. I fed a duck. That was super cool. What else did we do at the zoo? There was no staff whatsoever. Not a single person working. Even the food places were closed. There was no advertisement. It basically was just like a giant animal place with no people. It wasn't even jam-packed or anything. But the animals were very, very social. Like, they hopped around. I got a video of, like, the bison chasing each other. The monkeys were very loving. They caught peanuts. People were throwing peanuts. And people fed the animals. Like, I was, like, getting really upset. I was like, stop throwing food at the bears and stop throwing peanuts at the monkeys. But apparently that's something they do here. There was no signs that says don't feed the animals. So, they did that. What else did I do? I think that's all Saturday really had to do. Yeah, me and Ashley stayed there for a long time. We had a snack. It was nice. We ate lunch at the dolphin exhibit, like outside. You know how they have the dolphin shows? We and her just sat down there, and there was 5 dolphins just playing around. I don't know if that's here or outside. Anyways, we ate lunch there, and it was really nice. I liked it a lot. We came back that night. We really didn't do anything, or last night we really didn't do anything because we have no more money. Me and Ashley split a pizza. We had some snacks. We just stayed in, and that was that. Sunday we had to be out at 10:30 this morning. Sunday we woke up We got all of our stuff packed. The hostel people let us leave our stuff in the room, like suitcases and stuff, because our bus didn't leave until 2:30, which was nice. Walked around, got pizza, basically did a whole lot of nothingness. When we finally got to the bus station, there was mass confusion. We ran from like 3 to like all over the place because people kept telling us the buses were different. The bus on the screen said bus 20, the bus on our ticket said bus 1, and then these other people kept telling us, no, this bus, and we just kept pulling our suit, and it would have been fine if we didn't have suitcases, but every time we would put our suitcases under the bus because it was a giant bus, and then we'd wait in line, and then we'd get up to line, he'd be like, no, you're not on this bus. And we're like, fuck, like, is the other bus gone then? Is our bus gone? Because then we have to go and get our suitcases and go run and hope the bus that's ours didn't leave yet. But it all worked out. We got on the bus. We were one of the last people, but we made it, thankfully. The bus was 5 hours long. It was miserable. I'm tired. I'm greasy. Yeah, it was nice. We all talked about, it's crazy the fact that we call Granada home. Like, all I kept saying and all of us kept saying is, I just want to go home. I want to be home. I miss home. I miss my family, aka here. And I never thought that I would say that in another country. Like, I just want to go home, but not home, if that makes sense to anyone. It's different. I missed waking up to breakfast. I came home. No one was here. I think they're here now. I came home, there was dinner for me on the table. I don't know why, with a note that's like, just in case you want to eat and we're not here. I miss that a lot. I miss human contact with my family here. I miss being in my own bed. It's weird that I consider this my home, but like, if it's just like a place of comfort. Like, I just got here and I was like, oh god, I feel so great. I'm home, I'm in my bed, it's gonna be amazing. I don't have to like feel dirty. I'm gonna shower. What else? Oh, the only other thing that I had to say was I think I'm going to join the gym tomorrow because I feel depressed. Not depressed, I completely lied about that. I'm happy, but I just don't feel like myself. I miss working out. I tried running and I tried doing just like jumping jacks and like things. I just want to be in a gym where I belong, if that... It doesn't really make sense, but I spend so much of my time at ISU. I'm at the gym 17 hours a week. I have my 10 hours worth of classes that I teach, so it's like 10 hours of working out. And then the workouts that I want to do on my own, and I just feel like a noodle. I just feel like a noodle. Like, whoa, and I just miss having muscle. I'd rather have 10 pounds, be 10 pounds heavier for that 10 pounds of muscle because I just feel not like myself. And I just don't feel happy. Like this weekend I felt ugly. And my friend's like, Kelly, why do you look like that? And I was like, I feel ugly. I just feel so ugly. Like my skin, everything's not right to me. I'm happy here and I'm happy everything's happening. I'm happy to travel, but I'm not happy with myself, and I just feel like I need to go to the gym and run on a treadmill and lift weights or something. It sounds super lame, but I would run in the park and that's nice, but I just want like weights. I want some resistance training. I want to like get a good sweat. Nice stress reliever for me, I guess. Just makes me have that little piece of home, makes me think of work. I don't know. I miss feeling like I have a purpose. Like here I wake up, breakfast is made for me, I wake up, go in the kitchen, breakfast is made, I don't do my dishes, I don't do my laundry, lunch is made for me. I don't do anything besides go to school and nap, which is awesome, but I need to feel like I have a purpose, and I feel like that's why I'm joining the gym. It's like a $12 new person fee and then $29 per month, which is expensive, and I don't want to do it, but I don't want to be unhappy with the way I look because I like going to the gym and I like being strong, not looking like a noodle. But yeah, I think that is all I wanted to say. I'm sorry the Taylor doesn't have an iPhone, that sucks.